Hi everyone, this is Ruhi. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I have created a blue smoky glittery eye makeup look that I have never created, and I thought of doing something unique. I got Miss Claire glitters for the first time and I am loving the way these glitters have performed on my eyes. It was a very easy makeup look if you ask me, and this makeup look is basically for beginners and it would be very easy for you to recreate it and without much of effort. So without any further ado, let's jump into the tutorial of this look. So this time I'm going to start my look by filling my eyebrows first, and for filling my eyebrows I'm going to use a normal black eyeshadow from any eyeshadow palette. For my eyeshadow palette I'm going to be using Morphe 25L palette. You can use whatever you have, and this is an angular brush by PAC Cosmetics I am going to be using for filling my brows. So angular brush, you know, it genuinely helps you to fill your brows precisely. So that's why I'm using this. I'm going to create my eyeshadow base, and for eyeshadow base I'm going to be using a concealer. This is by Sugar Cosmetics Magic Wand Waterproof Concealer in the shade Chocochino. I have used this concealer before as well in my eye looks, and this concealer dries very quickly. If you're someone who wants to use this or who is using this, then be careful and be very quick while blending it. And when you blend the concealer, do not leave any harsh edges towards this side or this side. So I'm going to quickly blend it with my favorite beauty blender. This is by Atul Chauhan. I have already reviewed this blender in my channel. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. Now I am not gonna powder my eyeshadow base like always, because I'm gonna be using a creamy pencil that I'm gonna put on my eyes first, and then I can blend it to create a smoky effect. So I'm not going to powder it. The pencil that I'm gonna be using is by K Beauty. This is an eyeshadow stick. I don't remember the shade name. I'll put the shade name on the screen somewhere. I'm gonna put it on the center and the lower part of my eyelids and blend it quickly before it gets dried out. Now before I move for another eye, I'm going to take a pink shade that I have with me here from the Morphe 25L palette, and I'm going to blend the edges of this one. Now I am going to take a Lakara E008 brush, and this brush is very fluffy and, you know, very dense, and it helps to blend properly. So I'm going to use this brush to blend the edges of the eyeshadow that I've just applied. Now moving on to another eye, we'll do the same process again. Now after an hour of blending, I'm gonna take a lighter pink shade to blend the outer edges of the pink shade that I have just applied with a pencil brush by Pro Art, and this is one of my favorite pencil brush. If you guys have been watching me since some time, then you must be knowing that every eye makeup look that I have created, I have always used this pencil brush. I'm gonna take a little bit of that shade in this brush and blend out the edges in circular motion. Now I'm gonna apply a little bit of glitter for the center of my eyelids, and as the rule says, we have to use a glitter primer for applying loose glitter on the eyelids. And for glitter primer, I'm gonna be using PAC Sparkly Distraction Glitter Primer in a flat brush. This is again by PAC Cosmetics. This is the brush that I use to blend the eyeshadow stick that I have applied here. So I'm gonna apply this glitter primer in the center of my eyelids, sort of, and quickly apply glitter with the same blending brush by Pro Art. So about the glitter, this glitter is by Miss Claire in the number 15. I love this glitter. I'm gonna repeat the same step on the other eye. Now I'm gonna clear the glitter fallouts from my face, and for that I'm gonna be using Garnier Oil Infused Micellar Water. It's one of the best, if you ask me. If you're a person who uses makeup and which are kind of waterproof, then you would need this one. Now I'm gonna be applying kohl on my lower lash line, and for that I'm gonna be using a white kohl. This is by Bella Voste. It's one of my favorites, and this is in the shade Snowbell. This kohl is highly pigmented and it stays for a long time. If you can see right now in my eyes, there is a huge difference between this eye and this eye, because this one looks very bright and open and wide and a little more bigger than this one, because considering someone who has got smaller eyes, you have to always use a white kajal on your lower lash line instead of using a black kajal. That actually helps. We'll start with the base now. For base, I'm gonna first start with my moisturizer, and this is by Innisfree Jeju Orchid Enriched Cream. I have been using this since a year now, and every day very religiously. I love this moisturizer on my skin. It feels plumpy and super soft when it applies on skin, and you know, it's a must to have a moisturizer on face. Now I'm gonna be using primer on my face, and for primer I'm gonna use NYX Honey Dew Me Up primer. I have had this primer since almost a year. I don't know why I did not use it in any of my videos. I have no reason for that, but I totally love this primer. You want a dewy base, and if you're someone who is a dry skin person, then you could always use this primer. Even though I am an oily skin person, I still love a dewy base. I really hate to have a matte kind of base on my skin. So I'm going to use this primer. This is kind of oil based with beautiful gold glittery particles, if you can see this. Now I'm going to be using strobing cream on this primer that I have applied. This strobing cream is by Sugar Cosmetics. This is Bling Leader Illuminating Moisturizer in the shade Gold Digging. I have already reviewed the strobing cream on my channel. If you haven't checked it out, please go check it out. It's kind of an amazing strobing cream that I have tried. And also to add on, this is the first strobing cream that I have ever used. I'm going to be using a foundation now. This is by Maybelline Matte and Poreless Fit Me Foundation. I'm in the shade 228 Soft Tan. Again, I have reviewed this foundation on my channel. If you haven't checked it out, I'm going to put all the links in the description box. So if you want to check any product that I have been using now, so you can go check it out. I am going to be using one pump of this foundation initially and then build up the coverage if required, because this foundation has an amazing property of buildable coverage. Now I'm gonna apply concealer on my under eyes. For that I'm gonna be using Maybelline Fit Me concealer in the shade medium. Now this is a tad bit light for me, like smidge bit, and but that's fine for now. This is just to cover the pigmentation on my under eyes. If any one of you is wondering about my concealer shade, then I would be Fit Me concealer in the shade Golden. Now we are going to move ahead with cream highlighting on my face, and I'm going to use this Magic Wand waterproof concealer by Sugar in the shade Chocochino. This is kind of light for my skin. I won't load my under eyes a lot. I'll just put it here somewhere. Now I'm gonna powder my face, and I'm gonna be using this same beauty blender to powder my face. I just love the effect of this beauty blender when I use this for powdering, for contouring, for foundation, for concealer, for everything. I just love the effect that it causes. So yeah, for powdering my face, I'm gonna be using MAC Studio Fix Compact in the shade NC40. This is my favorite, my go-to compacts. I just love using this all the time. Now that we have powdered my face, I'm going to be using this shade from the palette for my lower lash line with the pencil brush by Pro Art, and I'm going to brush this shade on my lower lash line. Now I'm going to be taking the little bit of this pink shade from this palette to blend the purpley blue shade that I have just applied with the same blending brush, just to blend it a little bit. Now I'm going to use a little bit of liquid glitter on my under eyes towards the inner corner. I just love the effect of the liquid glitter after I apply it just a little bit on my inner corners. This is by Swiss Beauty, and this liquid glitter is in the shade 02 Diamond Dust. I have taken a little bit on my hands, and I am going to be using a very small brush by PAC Cosmetics. This is how the brush looks like. Now I'm going to powder contour my face. For powder contouring, I'm going to be using Sugared Contour Defaults Mini Bronzer in the shade Toppy Topper. And for applying this contour powder, I'm going to be using this contouring brush by PAC Cosmetics again. Now I'm going to apply powder blush on my face, and for powder blush I'm going to apply my favorite blush powder. This is Contour Defaults Mini Blush in the shade Salmon Superstar by Sugar Cosmetics, and I'm going to be using a blush brush or a buffing brush, you can call it anything. It's a dense brush and it's most for blush. Now we are going to jump off to one of the best parts, applying highlighter. For highlighter, I'm going to be using Maybelline Master Chrome Highlighter in the shade Molten Gold. Again, I have reviewed this one on my channel. If you haven't checked it out, I'm going to put the link in the description box below so you can go check it out. I'm using a fan brush by Lakara. This is in the number F005 to apply highlighter. I'm going to be using a pencil brush to highlight my brow bones. I just like the effect of using a pencil brush or a smaller brush for brow bone. Now we are going to apply lipstick, and for lipstick I'm going to be using Smashbox liquid lipstick in the shade Gula Bae, and you all know how beautiful this lipstick is. So in all of this, I have totally forgotten I have to apply mascara. So for mascara, I'm going to be using my favorite mascara, the ultimate one. This is Huda Beauty Legit Lashes Mascara.